if you're bringing 3 hookers, can you risk bringing Dan Sheehan, who's going to miss all the games up until maybe Scotland, Kelleher, whose fitness doesn't feel guaranteed, and then just one of Rob Herring, and it would be Rob Herring, or one, or Tom Stewart, or do you have to,
Rob Herring, yeah.
Do you have to make the really grim, awful decision of, well, to bring one injury cloud hooker is unfortunate, to bring 2 would be careless, so I'm going to have to turn around to either Sheehan or Kelleher and say, I can't bring you both. I'm going to have to bring Herring and Stewart, and then whichever of you is the most durable, or whoever I want to take most of a chance on to get you to a World Cup quarter-final. And that's just a terrible decision to have to make.
You know, if Kelleher's fit, I think he goes. Like, I mean, I don't think there's any question that if we don't have Dan Sheehan, we need to have Ronan Kelleher. You can't not take them
both.
But you can't. No. Well, at this stage, we have to think about this. Obviously, we've just heard the news, but like, you have to take Kelleher, because like you can't be not taking someone on the chance they get injured. You know. But at the same time, like,
but if Sheehan could be back for the quarter-final,
yeah, but you can't be bringing 4 hookers, and it's too much of a load to ask. Like, we'll be back in the situation we were with Scotland in no time. Josh van der Veer thrown into the line out in a Rugby World Cup. Like,
yeah, that is the issue. So if in the initial group stages against South Africa, or say Sheehan doesn't make the Scotland game, you only need one kind of niggle or injury to one of your other 2 hookers, and then you don't have Sheehan, and suddenly, as you said,
and that's it. It's worse if it's like a niggle. If it's worse if they're just not available, and you don't want to send them home, for which you can call up a replacement. You know, so it's a very awkward one now. Like, do you do kind of what we all suspect South Africa of doing, though they might not be actually doing this, of putting Dan Sheehan on standby and having him as your 4th hooker, and thinking, there is if we lose one of these guys, then we have a perfectly good guy to call up as our, you know, and he could end up starting in the latter stages.
That's a sensible option. That's genuinely a sensible.
I think you have to be very careful about just bringing Dan Sheehan, because he might be fit in 8 weeks.
Yeah, well, I think,
you know, it doesn't matter how good he is.
He will be fit in 8 weeks.
I think on the South African,
6 to 8 weeks.
I don't know what happens with these injuries.
On the South African issue, I think we're all questioning whether the validity of Lukhanyo Am's injury is such that he's, you know, worthy of being a standby player who might come in from one of the 4 scrum halves that they've named. But in this instance, I think Mick's point is absolutely bang on. Like, you put one of the 2 of Kelleher and Sheehan, whoever's furthest away, as backup, as standby, and if an injury does come to pass, and thankfully there is that ability to switch things up in the squad if there is an injury, you bring him in, especially if you're looking at knockout stages and touch wood, fingers crossed, and all that good stuff we are doing.